Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to another trade review video. Today we are going to be reviewing 4 trades that I made that netted me a profit of $296.85. My total profit was a little over $300 until I took my very last trade of the day with one micro contract on MES. But we'll talk about that once we get into the trades. So, without further ado, let's jump over to Thinkorswim and talk about what happened today. Alright, now that we're in Thinkorswim, it's time to review the trades. First one today was one taken on GC. It was a short, and I entered this trade right around when we had this break and retest of the low of the 5-minute opening range. See how at 8:38 we had our first close below the range, then we had a retest up. So I decided that this would be a good time to short. Now, profit target was around the 41.40 level, but if you look at 30-minute chart or even a 1-hour chart, you see that we have an area of support here, which I wasn't paying attention to when taking this trade, unfortunately. So the lowest we got was around 41.43. Instead of holding, I decided to just cover my shorts and move on. And that resulted in about a $65 profit, fortunately, even though it wasn't the best trade. The next trade was on ES, and this was one that reached my profit target in 2 minutes. Don't you love when that happens? Unlike yesterday, what I didn't do was buy immediately at the break of the high or sell immediately at the break of the low. Instead, I decided to wait. We had the break of the high, went all the way back down. Then we had a very aggressive move lower, but what I was waiting for at this point after this move lower was a retest and then another move down, which we got. And see this line in the middle here? This is the midpoint for the opening range. I don't necessarily trade from it, but I'd like to see the reaction we get at this area here. And today it was like a perfect example of a bearish retest, because we had a wick at the midpoint, we had this bearish candle here, and we had aggressive selling afterwards. At this point, I felt comfortable buying at the break of the low, which is what I did. And it basically wrote this candle all the way down to sell at around here. And that resulted in my most profitable trade of the day, with a profit of about $240. I should probably talk about the next 2 trades together, because these were both trades where I was going long on ES and trades where I got chopped out. These next 2 trades I want to talk about together because they weren't the best ones, and they were both long entries on ES. I decided to go long on ES at 10:31 a.m. That was the first time. It made sense in my mind because we have a break of the midpoint of this opening range. Then we had these three lower highs. And then if you look on the 5-minute chart, we also had an upward sloping 25 EMA exponential moving average. So with all those factors combined, it seemed like this will be a good entry for a long right around here. So take the long entry, but there's still a lot of consolidation within this range. The painful part is that I sold at 10:37. 10:37. So around here at this green candle. And I was thinking, well, so much consolidation. I don't want to hold this long for too long, right? Well, if I had held it, would have been a very nice trade. Same thing for the other time I tried to long at 10:58, which was right here. This time we actually broke the high of the opening range, but after this break, there was still a lot of consolidation and downward bearish price action. You had 3 aggressive 1-minute candles to the downside. But if I just held, I would have made a great trade. So I sold the third long entry on MES at a $7.50 profit. I saw the second one at $11.50 loss. Okay, now it's time for a reflection. Things that could have done better. Okay, now it's time for the retrospective, the daily retrospective. I would say I'm pretty happy with the way I handled the first 10 minutes or so of trading. Even though we had a break of high and a break of low of the opening range on ES, I didn't jump into longs or shorts right away. Instead, waited for a retest and then a move down for my short, which ended up being a great and high probability trade. It's something I discussed on my video from yesterday. Now, what I need to do moving forward is, one, I need to be careful that I'm not over trading. I had a great trade earlier today, and the 2 trades I took after that, not so much. It's best, in my opinion, to only stick with a few trades a day, 4 or 5 trades at most. And then the second thing I need to be careful is that I need to make sure I'm being patient and waiting for The second thing I need to do is make sure I'm being patient and waiting for good entries and setups. The long trade on ES ended up being fantastic, but it would have been better to wait for more confirmation before entering. If I had done so, I would have caught a very large move higher on ES and I would have had an even more profitable day. Alright then, that's all for today's video. If you like what you see and what you hear, please give me a like and subscribe. Alright, thank you. Have a great day.